Right, so today, the adventures of Dad and Emma visited Elizabethtown, or what's left of Elizabethtown, which is just a cemetery. We went looking for any other part of Elizabethtown, but it had been made into an apartment complex. But we did hit up the cemetery. Can you tell us a little bit about Elizabethtown, baby?
So it was founded in 1850. Its first founders, at their height, they only had 25 students in a single room schoolhouse. They had a schoolhouse, a postmaster, a post office, and then they had 6 saloons, if that told you where their priorities were at the time.
So how long did the town last till?
1881. The railroad moved away from Elizabethtown, and so most of the inhabitants at that time moved to Roanoke.
Roanoke, yeah. So what did we discover that was weird about that?
Well, we also found a lot of the gravestones reported that people had died in 1881 when the railroad moved away. So I think maybe there was a lot of, obviously that would have caused a lot of hardship because there wouldn't have been as many people coming through Elizabethtown at that time. So I'm sure that there was some really hard times for people, and that probably caused some of them to die.
And of course, we also noticed, what did we find on some of those graves? Who did we find?
We found some of the original inhabitants, some of the original founders.
The blacksmith?
Found the blacksmith. We also found...
The actual town founder?
Yeah, the actual town founders.
What did you think of the cemetery?
I thought it was really sweet. I love that even though the graves are older, they're still being taken care of.
Some have been completely replaced. We don't know if it was by the government or by family.
Yeah, we are very, at least me, I'm very pro preserving our history. So, yeah, it was really, really interesting. It wasn't spooky at all. It didn't seem haunted. It was very hot outside today.
Yeah. It felt restless to me, but I think that was just the heat. So,
yeah.
So did you enjoy our visit there?
Loved it.
Well, without further ado, we'll show you exactly what we saw today. So we're visiting what's left of Elizabethtown in Texas. The town became a ghost town, and as far as we know, all that's left is cemetery. But we're going to go to the place of the town too. But this is a road that we're having to take to come to the cemetery. The cemetery is like in the middle of nowhere, but at the same time right in the middle of like the city. You have to go off all these back roads off of the freeway, and then it's just this little bitty dirt lane. There's a rusted out mailbox that looks like it's centuries old, I swear. No, not that bad, but it's obviously old. But here's Elizabethtown Cemetery, and this may be it. This may be it for Elizabethtown. We're gonna go look at some of the graves and find out. Here I am in the cemetery, Elizabethtown Cemetery, with my partner in crime. Say hi, my love, my beautiful bride. So we're not trying to be disrespectful. We are trying to look at some of the graves, since this is what's left of Elizabethtown. And this grave is from 1894, and it's mainly been broken up. We notice there's some new graves out here and some old graves, so people have been keeping up with this. Here's one from 1901 and another one from 1894. It'd be good to know some more about these people. We love the history of these. This one here is kind of, a lot of them look kind of newer, but this has been kind of fenced off. So we're gonna see if we can look at it and just see if they're older graves or newer graves. So we're in the fenced-in area, and it's obvious that a lot of the headstones have been redone. They're very old headstones that have been redone, and that is awesome. The family has taken and replaced them, but then you lose some of the history. But I can respect that. I would do the same thing. This one here is almost completely worn away. You can barely see the writing on it, and it's from 1912. And I'm not sure why these are set apart from the rest of them, but they have been completely set apart. I don't know, it's a weird feeling to the cemetery, a mixture of old and new. It just doesn't feel haunted or nothing. It just feels weird here, though. It feels restless. Here is so worn that there's almost nothing to it that we can see, but the graveyard's much bigger than we thought. But look at this. the fencing here almost looks like what they used to make bed rails from, oddly enough. But the graves here look a little newer. But this has been a lot replaced. Like I said earlier, it looks like a lot has been replaced, which is, you know, kudos to the family that come in and get new headstones. But we're noticing the pattern of a lot of people died around 1880 and 1881, and we don't know why. And I'm not sure what this is at all. But it looks like a lot of people died right around 1880. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're here at the cemetery, my lovely bride.
Hello.
And it's definitely not haunted or anything. It just felt kind of restless. I don't know, maybe just weird because it's hot out here. I don't know. But it's a mixture of weird cemetery. And what did you notice about the dates, babe?
A lot of them were very closely grouped together, like 1880, 1881, 1882, like within that time span.
But you noticed something about a certain date.
1881.
81 seems to have been a lot of deaths. So it was worth coming to. It's weird because there's houses backed up to it. There's like a whole area of new graves, and some of the graves haven't settled, which I've never seen before. But then it's got some really old graves. This is supposedly mainly what's left of Elizabethtown, but we're going to go look and see if we can find anything else to do with Elizabethtown. Right, honey?
Yeah.
Sad to say, there's nothing left of Elizabethtown proper except a brand new apartment. But we're just driving around, looking around. We found something called Chapel Cemetery. And here's the stuff about it. And it's around since when? 1893? Is that what you found? So this is an old cemetery.
It was actually 1850s.
1850s.
The pioneer families of John A. and Rhonda Rayburn Fanning, Mitchell and Eleni Jane Rayburn, and Thomas Rayburn. According to Fanning family tradition, the cemetery began with a burial of Eleni Rayburn at this site in 1856, and the subsequent donation of the land for the cemetery purposes by her brother-in-law John Fanning. Afterwards, the site became known as the Fanning burying ground.